Good morning, evening, afternoon. Mas Sajady here with Mas on Sunday. Welcome. And again, if you're new, very, very different. It's an experiential podcast. What that means is that you transform as you listen because of the frequencies. It's all about frequencies, and that's how we say transform and become your limitless self. So again, welcome. And again, if you are new, thanks for joining us, and remember to like this video, and then also subscribe to our channel to transform your limited life to a limitless life. Okay. By the way, talking about limitless, we're gonna be doing a new podcast, season 3 on XI podcast, Exponential Intelligence Podcast, which is going to be called Good to Great to Limitless. So take a look at that as well. Oh, that's thank you. You're always looking so fresh and good. Oh, thank you so much. I do a lot of work. No, actually, I don't. I literally get up and that's it. So thank you. But it's the frequencies. It's the frequencies deep inside, and that's what you are experiencing. All right, this is a very special podcast. It's on Jesus's second coming. And it's no coincidence that this Sunday uh, Passover, and then also Easter Sunday. Easter, obviously, it's on Sunday, but it's happening at a perfect time. By the way, so happy Easter for those who celebrate Easter, and then happy new beginnings for those who don't. Okay. All right. Oh, somebody from Portugal. Oh, thank you so much. Want to go to Portugal, by the way. So we're going to talk about a very sensitive subject. In fact, it's so sensitive that I was on Chat GPT just talking about Jesus, and asking that, and it's very, very interesting. And this is how our society has come to be, and I'll talk about that in just a few minutes. But um, I was uh, entering in Chat GPT, and it's like, I was going to write the description, and just edit some of the stuff on my description, just to make it improve it, and it wouldn't do it for me. Kind of crazy, right? Because it's a sensitive subject, it might offend some people, and that's But although you can watch movies like Cocaine Bear. I don't know if you've watched Cocaine Bear. I don't know why I saw that, but anyway, I saw Cocaine Bear, and the limbs are being pulled apart. People just shoot each other. There was another movie that my kids were watching, and there's like shootings. There's just decapitation. There's video games on. You can decapitate people. And just blood squirts all over, blood squirts on the camera, and so on like that. That's all fucking good, right? But then you can't write anything about, say, Jesus or Muhammad or Buddha or anything like that, because it's a fucking sensitive subject. So again, if you're going to be deeply sensitive on this subject, it's a great time for you to say really understand. And again, why are you so sensitive if you're so confident about, say, your religion or your perspective or your belief system? It's not about, and that's one thing I'd like to talk about before I just get started. A lot of people nowadays, they're so sensitive about something, whatever it is, their belief systems, and their belief system could be on anything. Could be on a vaccine, maybe. It's just hypothetical, or it could be on a religious belief, or it could be on a political belief, or it could be any fucking thing that's out there, right? That they're sensitive, and then it's like somebody talks not even negative or shit about it. It's just somebody gives you another perspective on it, and you get really offensive. It's like, what the hell is that, guys? If you're so confident in your belief system and anything that you do, you shouldn't be sensitized by it. You shouldn't be defending that aspect or that belief system. And that's exactly what you're doing, right? You don't believe it, and you don't believe it yourself at a very deep level. Because if you did, you wouldn't be well fucked up. You wouldn't be mad about what people would say about your subject or anything. You'd be confident inside, and still know that your belief system that you have, is accurate. Those individuals who are highly insecure about what they believe in, no matter what the hell it is, you just don't have it. You're not solid enough. You don't believe it enough to be confident about it, and just to be silent about it. Okay, and it's not about silence. It's talking, say, logically about it, rather than having your emotions or go into bursts of outrage and have the what's the woke movement and all that bullshit that's out there, right? So again, if you don't believe in something as deep as you should, or there's some incongruencies, or what I call it first principle, then indication that you really don't believe in what you are believing in, or you don't really run or operate from what you believe in. Very simple. You get outraged at other people around you, and then you force them to believe in what you really don't believe at a deeper level. So that's how all that shit works. Okay, and again, this might offend those individuals. Well, check your belief system on what you believe in. Okay, all right. So this is Jesus's second coming, and it's a very, very sensitive subject. And and on this on the description here, this is not related to religion. It is for those who are interested in uncovering the future of mankind and how to not only service the coming great shift, but to prosper from it. So again, this is not about a religion. Okay, I was looking on, say, Jesus' second coming, doing my research and all that on that, and it's about and basically Jesus' second coming is that if you are Christian, whether you are dead or alive, if you are Christian, you will be saved. Okay. And that's just bullshit. It's not about Christianity or anything like that. It's not about any religion, by the way, because religion was thousands of years after mankind was literally created. So again, religion is just a tool, just like anything else, just like success, just like marriage, just like having a kid, just like honor, just like helping other people, all those things. It's just a tool. But most people think that tool is the end goal, and that's where we get it wrong. Okay, and I'll give you that example, and then I'll get into the science on what the second coming is really about. Okay, and it's just right out of Jesus's mouth, or right out of the scriptures that many people believe in Jesus, no matter what religion it is, especially the Islam and Muslim religion, the Islam. Religion and the Christian religion, they're very, very parallel, but again, they're very, very separated at a physical or human level for some reason, although they believe in pretty much very similar things. And then also Buddhism as well. It's in there. But so we'll talk about that as well. If you have any questions, write in. Demi, if you can share my screen for me, that'd be great. And just let me know. It's shared. Awesome. So here you go, guys. So I'll give you a tool, and this is where religions or anything else is. Again, it's just a tool. Okay. So we need to clarify this, and then we'll get into the deeper science of time and space and Jesus' second coming. And I know that sounds crazy, right? Time and space and Jesus' second coming. What the hell does that have anything to do with it, right? Especially if you're a scientist type individual, or even atheist, is like, what the hell does that have anything to do with it? It has everything to do with it. We just need to understand it at a top level or first principle level. Okay, so here we go. Let me just erase this. And by the way, this I'm using um, Remarkable too. It's really a nice notepad. Did you guys ever, have who has tons of notepads? I used to have tons of notepads, and I write my all my ideas down. Remarkable too is that electronic form, and you still have the essence of your writing, which is really beautiful. Or something which we've lost. Back in the day, how many of you remember that they had writing, and you looked at their handwriting, and it's not even what they said. That didn't even matter. It's just the beauty of their, people's handwriting. Obviously, my handwriting is not that beautiful, but some people have this beautiful handwriting. It's just their presence that shows through in their handwriting, right? We've kind of lost that, unfortunately. It doesn't mean that we need to go back, but tools like this enhance what we are naturally, right? It brings us out rather than creating a facade about who we are, right? A cover, again, a facade of who we are, all the insecurities that we want to say um, cover up. So, and this is where Chat GPT, by the way, talking about Chat GPT, comes in. Hey, write me a fantastic poem. about the one I love. And then Chat GPT will write it for you. It's like, here you go, honey, from my heart. No, it's not from your heart. It's from Chat GPT's heart. So those are those things that we kind of lose our identities, and that's what the second coming is about: bringing back the identity that we've all lost, and using technology not to delete Chat GPT or Facebook or anything like that, but using these technologies to enhance who we are instead of destroy who we are. By the way, it's not the technology. It's very very different, and in Jesus' second coming, which I believe is here, by the way. This is where, this is where, again, we get to have an opportunity to enhance who we are rather than destroy or get replaced by some machine or AI. All right. So here we go. This is point A. Um, this is oops. Um, Demi, they can see this here. This is point A. And this is point Z. Okay, so this is where you want to get to. So whether you um, use success as a tool, whether like making a lot of money, whether you use poverty as a tool, again, those are all vehicles for you. Okay, those are all vehicles, just like any car. Okay, just think of it as any car, motorcycle, anything that gives you movement forward, a plane, jet engine, whatever it might be. Okay. So you've got religion, you've got success, you've got poverty, you've got, kids, you've got whatever that's out there for you. Okay. As a tool, as a vehicle. Okay. And what you're doing, your baseline and what you're supposed to be doing is going from point A to point Z. Okay. Point Z is awakening. Whatever you might think awakening is: higher intelligence, higher level of knowledge, becoming limitless, right? Becoming a good Christian, becoming a good Muslim, becoming a good whatever. It's the vehicle that you're riding in. Okay. It's that vehicle of intelligence. Again, the vehicle of being religious, the vehicle of being poor, the vehicle of going out in a cave and meditating on all that. It's just the vehicle, guys. Okay. So some people have better vehicles, some people don't. It doesn't really matter. Okay. The key is that what we do, and this is the basis of society's issues, is what we do is like that vehicle. You're supposed to go from point A to point Z, but most people don't know which direction they're going. Right? Say I'm in Minneapolis right now, and I want to go to Colorado, go to Breckenridge to go snowboarding, which I just did, by the way. Beautiful, beautiful snow. So I had a vehicle, right? I had a nice Yukon vehicle, very nice, rides so well, by the way. Anyway, I'm going from point A, Minneapolis, to point Z, Breckenridge, Colorado. Okay, and I'm using this vehicle. It's a very nice vehicle. Your religion might be, you might think it's a very nice vehicle, or your success might be a very nice vehicle, or your lack of success might be a very nice vehicle. Whatever it might be, it doesn't matter. But your thinking point, Breckenridge, is like on the East Coast. So you start heading out this way, and you think point Z, which is a fake or fiat point Z, is over here. So again, this is very simple. Breckenridge is point Z. Okay, for you here, the real Z. Okay, this is the real awakening. This is your real purpose. Okay, your tool, again, whatever that you use, religion, success, non-success, whatever it might be, is just this vehicle. It's just this car. Okay, and you're going, well, Breckenridge is over here, and you're going this way, and then you get to someplace, and you go, fuck, this isn't Breckenridge. In fact, there's no snow, there's no mountains here. What the hell is going on? And then you trash the car, and you go, damn, this car got me in the wrong direction. I'm going to go use another car. How many people have done that through religions, by the way, right? You didn't stick to your religion for some reason. Okay. And again, it doesn't matter what religion, right? You went into spirituality. Back before it was religion, there was something else. They called it something else, and then they turned into religion. And then now, religion didn't work out well. Then we have like spiritual movements and so on like that. So again, how many people have tried that? It's like, oh shit, success didn't really get to where I want. It's just a vehicle, guys. You were just going the wrong direction. And then it's like, damn, success. So I'm going to just disgrace success and disgrace people who are successful and make a lot of money and so on. Because in my experiences, that vehicle didn't work. I'm going to trash the vehicle. No, you're just going in the wrong direction, by the way. Okay. You're going in the fucking wrong direction. It's not your vehicle. In fact, your abuse patterns, that's a vehicle for you to awaken. Okay. Your sacrifice patterns that you have, your illnesses that you have, all the negative things that you want to move away from, those are great opportunities for you to move away from those things that you do not like. You can start from anywhere that you are. Seriously, you can start from anywhere that you are, and I have, guys. I've been down in the dumps. I've been bankrupt. I've been divorced. I've been sick. I've been all that stuff. Okay. Again, it's just it doesn't really matter. The point is your vehicle going into the real direction of what you're supposed to be, awakened, and that's the key, awakening. You're supposed to be. Your one single goal here is to awaken. It doesn't matter if you want to save the whales. That's totally cool. If you want to make $1 billion, that's totally cool. But is your vehicle going the right direction to awaken? That's really the key. It doesn't matter if you've been abused in the past, right? You can point your vehicle in the right direction. Being abused, obviously going backwards, right? Going into a direction that you will never find yourself, and you'll get more and more abuse. And then what happens is, well, if you point your vehicle in the right direction, you move away from this you move away from abuse. Again, you can use that vehicle of abuse to get you to the point back on center here. That's point A. And then once you cross that line, there's no more abuse for you. Simple as that. How many of you, again, who ran abuse patterns, who ran, let's just say, self deficit patterns, okay, distortions, abuse patterns, anything like that, have now been cleaned up, okay, uh, from the work that you've done with XI? How many of you have done that, right? Well, this is why I don't change your psychology. Your psychology is just a tool. Your self-improvement methods is just a tool. Again, if those things are directed in the wrong direction, again, fiat. It's a fiat reality that you're searching. You'll never fucking find it because it's fiat. It's not there. Just like the money, just like security in money, security in all that. Although, if you're going in the right direction, you could have security in money. You could have security in love. You could have security in all the blessings that a lot of you just move away from because you think, well, that's not the right direction. No, it's the vehicle, and again, it's the vehicle, not just not the vehicle. It's the direction of where you took that vehicle. Okay, so hopefully that helps you. Um, XI GPS, I like that. So this, let me clear the page for you guys, and then we'll get into, say, the logistics on Jesus's second coming. Okay, and this is crazy. This will blow your mind. And this basis, this simple example, will give you and show you pretty much how consciousness works. Even if you can't define consciousness, if um, um, yeah, I'm just reading Billy's thing. You're right. You're right. That's true. Um, yeah, and I can talk about that too as well, Billy. But what was I saying? Anyway, so this example that I'm going to give you literally can be used to help you understand what consciousness is about, what it's really all about, okay, and what Jesus was talking about. By the way, okay, it's so simple, but it's the craziest concept ever that you'll and even if you're the greatest quantum physicist and into time and space and all that, this will blow your mind. Okay, and this again, this example, I talk more about it on the lecture series that I have coming up, by the way. Okay, so let's just jump into that example. By the way, all right. So, and by the way, this is where all inventions and anything like that come from. And if you're an XIer, you'll probably see this. You haven't seen this before. Okay, although some parts of you might have seen. If you're new, again, just keep an open mind. If your life isn't working the way it is, you need to transform in a very very different aspect of yourself, not at a say cognitive level. I don't call it a conscious level because again, we're not. Consciousness has a very very different definition. So are you ready? And for those individuals, by the way, I'll scan you guys after this. Okay, this example. So that's part two on Moss on Sunday. All right. So this is level zero. Okay, this is reality zero. Oh, let me. Oops. Just give me a second, guys. Dang it. Where am I? Yep. Yep. All right, we're back. Are we good, Debbie? All right. So this is realities. Okay, these are like steps of reality, or basically consciousness. And within consciousness, there's realities. Within the realities, there are dimensions of time and space. Okay, that's how it all works. By the way, you can see how consciousness works from an XI perspective, which is again top level perspective at the Moss Experience on the Best U TV, which is on Roku and some other channels on there. Okay, so and that'll explain how consciousness, realities, and dimensions of time and space work. So this is reality, and these layers are realities, and we're at reality zero. Reality zero is always reality zero. Okay, and just to redo this here. So this is reality zero. Okay. This is reality zero. Okay. This is the main stage. This is where time and space exist. This is where time and space. This is the only reality. This is the only consciousness that time and space or density exists, and that's why it's really a cool, say, consciousness that we have. Okay? So this is where it gets really really cool. So then above here is reality one, and then reality two, and then reality three, and so on. And this is just a break in the line. And then, this is reality, say 10,000. Okay. Um, let's just make it simple for you. This is reality 2023. Okay. So again, this is just a skip. It'd be 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way to 2023. All right. So what happened back in the day, and I'm getting reverb. Um, thanks, Demi. So what happened back in the day, guys, is that Jesus came along. Okay, Jesus came along, obviously past 2023 years ago, right, in living form, and he connected to a consciousness. And by the way, this is how inventions and so on work. Okay, he connected to a consciousness. Very brilliant man. Again, the man, not the religion. He connected he connected to a consciousness that was way ahead of his time. Okay, so he connected to this level here. He connected to this level consciousness back 2,000 years ago, right? 0 AD, or minus whatever, minus his age. He connected to that level of consciousness during that time. So this is zero. This is a time of 0 AD. Okay, he based what Jesus did was connect to a consciousness here, and he studied that consciousness, he observed that consciousness, right? And he lived from that consciousness, zero level reality. Now, just to give you an example of what most people live, what consciousness level they live in, they create or render their body at zero level reality. Again, this is where you create your body. Okay. This is where you only have physical form or physical density. So the level of consciousness that you're projecting your body from, okay, for example, Jesus, he projected his body from, again, this level, which was at that time, again, 2000 years ago, still that consciousness existed. Okay. So these are all layers of consciousness, not years, by the way. These are layers of consciousness. We would have, 2023, say, layers of consciousness, just for this example. So every year is a new consciousness that comes through. Okay. So he projected his body from here down, and created his form, hence immaculate. Okay. And very brilliant, right? Okay, so what most people do is your light still shines here, just like Jesus's would. Your light still shines here or even higher. But in this example, we'll take Jesus's level. But most your light shines here. Your identity or your consciousness level. This is where consciousness is key. Your consciousness, what most of society is here, your body is projected here. So you have no clue on what happens above you because your identity stays at this level, the same reality or the same consciousness that you created yourself in. That's why you have a lot of issues. That's why your wealth does not work out well. That's why your poverty does not work out well. Okay. Jesus, on the other hand, again, projected himself from this level down into reality, and that's where he had immaculate gifts. Okay. This is really cool now, guys. So, let's take a deep breath in. We'll bring in Jesus's frequencies, by the way. So we've got this, and we're good with that, right? And again, comment in, guys, if we're if we're good with that. Okay. Um, let's see. So I'm going to redraw. I'm going to go to another page, redraw it on, say, what has happened. So that's how, by the way, that's how inventions, that's how like Tesla got. He went into a higher level consciousness where those inventions already existed, right? And brought it down here and created it here. Unfortunately, when you do that, it doesn't work out well. No matter how benevolent, say, the technology is at a higher level consciousness, it needs to stay. That consciousness needs to come down into, say, the physical reality, the zero reality for that um, for that, say, benevolent idea to, say, take hold and enhance individuals. We pull ideas and concepts out of, say, the consciousness and put them here. It doesn't work out well. It's like taking a fish out of water and trying to make it survive. It's very disruptive for that technology or consciousness. Okay. All right. So let's how did Jesus do it? Well, you start to awaken, you start to go into the right direction, like I said before. All right, so we have this. This is, again, zero level consciousness. And Jesus predicted there would be great individuals who can do more than what I can do in the future. Right. And again, your religious texts say that. I tap into that and I see that as well. So this is what happens for you. Okay. So, um, so what Jesus was predicting, by the way, and this level zero is always the playing field. This level zero, again, is always the playing field. This is where the action happens. This is the stage of life. Again, this is the only place for density. Okay. So over time, and again, in this example, uh, one a better version of this always drops down, okay, into the playing field. Okay. So what that means is that 2023, okay, not the year, but the consciousness level is dropping down. Okay, so this is 2023. Again, not the year, but the consciousness level. In this consciousness level, this was Jesus's conscious level back. So 2023 years ago, Jesus's level was here. It was 2000 levels higher in consciousness. Okay. He tapped into it and brought it in his day. But what happens with consciousness with every year in this example, a new one drops by. So level one consciousness will now become level zero consciousness. It drops into this. It drops into, say, the format, the player. Just like records. If you guys remember the stack records, those record players that could stack, right? One record ends, that's 1 year ends, right? And then a new record plops in. So it's just the same thing. A new record plops in, and then you have new songs, new ideas, new concepts, new technologies, and so on like that. That's how, say, ideas happen. That's where new ideas and so on like that happen. All right. So level one becomes a level. It drops down into, say, player mode, and you have zero level. Level two consciousness drops down into level one. Level three drops down to two, and so on and so on. So what's happened now, what's happened in this year, basically, level 2023, okay, that was a long ways ago, is now the next version. It's already here. This is going to be level 2023 is going to be now dropped into level zero consciousness, the playing field, basically, if that makes sense. And again, this is the baseline. Okay, this is the baseline, and this again, this is 20, 22, 21, 20. Oops, sorry, 20, and so on. Right? These are old layers of consciousness. Now you can choose, okay, to live, and this is what's really cool. This is the great awakening, by the way. This is the second Jesus's second coming. That's what he meant by coming. It's not going to be a physical being, although it could be that one that represents it or takes hold of it. But again, it's free for us. It's free for all. Okay. So this level 2023 consciousness that, say, Jesus tapped into over 2000 years ago is now playing here. It is available for everybody since most people represent themselves from here and they create their identity from this level. That makes sense for you. Okay. If you're the man of the future or the woman of the future, you would obviously say reflect at this level, which would be really enhancing people. But again, so back in the day, I just want to clarify, 2023 was way the hell, out there, way out in the future, by the way. But this is how time gets messed up as well, right? Because what happened in the future, and this is, by the way, where crop circles and a lot of those new civilizations with advanced technologies that is being unearthed. This gives you the same example. Again, I go through this in the lecture series, but back to Jesus. So again, what happens is that 2023 consciousness drops down. Is time for that layer that Jesus say tapped into. It's free. It's available to everybody here today. Okay. So in this case, what'll happen is that there will be a great awakening. There'll be a rapture in the next, say, I would say this year, and it'll continue on. And this is where they would say, the 1,000 year peace and so on like that will come by. Okay, so let's take a deep breath in. So that's what Jesus opened up, by the way. Okay, because you would have to have an individual that opens that layer of consciousness up for you for it to become, say, a possibility of humans in the future. And that's what Jesus did for us, by the way. Okay. Now everybody has availability to the possibilities of what Jesus did. And you'll see people with amazing skills, amazing realities, amazing abilities come forth. Okay, not just me, but a lot of people. This is where Jesus said, "Hey, you know what? There's there's going to be men, people who can do much better, uh, do better things than even I could do." Okay, so again, that's the second coming. It's a consciousness that's coming, not say a physical person. It's like, hey, I'm here to save you again. He didn't save you in the past. He just awakened into consciousness. So I guess in a way he did save us, right? But again, not the way most people will think. And he did not suffer for your sins. Nobody can wash away your sins. Your sins, for example, is which level of consciousness are you living in? By the way, this was 2023, so this is an amazing consciousness level for people to say access right here, right? Again, that's what Jesus is about. It's now here for us to access. It's your choice because of free will. Your choice of free will. Are you going to live at this level of consciousness, or are you going to hold back? Because this level of consciousness is a whole different grade. Okay, say you went from kindergarten to say college level degree. So a lot of people would have to be forced to awaken to say act, accept this level of consciousness. Again, you have free will. Most people, unfortunately, about say 35%, 40% of people will not choose this level of consciousness. They will create themselves from this. They will project their light, although their light is always here, always at this level. They will think they're existing back in 2020, back in 2021, it was fear mode and so on like that. So they'll create their light. Your light is always brilliant, by the way. Your light is here, and then it'll bounce back because you're projecting yourself, and you'll bounce back and create yourself from here. And this is where people live from the past, by the way. So a lot of people, that 40%, will live from the past. Those 40% will probably perish. So again, it's just a prediction. I could be way off, but I've been pretty accurate, about 99% accuracy on my predictions. So a lot of people will perish just naturally. But either way, this reality, this consciousness level, even if you perish, if you don't exist in this reality, you awaken. So no matter if you're on the other side, again, dying of some crazy disease or whatever it might be, or some infection or whatever that's out there, some virus or something, whatever it might be, again, that's even if it's man-made, you will still say awaken into a higher level of self, because this consciousness demands that you cannot hold on to the reality. Right? And that death is a totally different subject. By the way, I did a talk on the science of death. So that might be beneficial for you. So again, this is demystifying all that stuff that people talk about, say Jesus' second coming, and it's the Christians that are going to be saved and so on like that. No, God has no religion, by the way. Okay, God didn't create religion. It was a tool for individuals. Some great individual connected to some source, and then it turned into, say, some format, which have been destroyed. So let's take a deep breath in. Let's just take a little longer on this MoS on Sunday, I guess. And again, we'll scan you in just a bit. We'll just bring in that consciousness level. Did that make sense for you all though? I just want to know if that made sense for you. Again, dispelling, demystifying all the religious and spiritual bullshit that goes out there, including science. Science has just turned into another religion, right? Where they force you to think, believe in things that has no basis. That's why, again, science, every decade they go, fuck, what we thought 10 years ago was totally wrong. Sorry. Sorry, we killed all of you. We thought that was the right thing to do. So again, if you were an individual of a higher level consciousness, by the way, this is Jesus's levels consciousness in today's reality. Okay. Okay. So that doesn't mean you can project your light. And Demi, do we still have this? Okay. So this is so you this is your the reality that's available to you now. For those go-getters, by the way, you can project your light at higher levels from here, and again project yourself down here. You don't have to again, this is where you can go beyond and do even greater fantastic things than what Jesus could do. And again, that sounds sacrilegious, because if you say that, it's like there's no other person better than Jesus and so on. Jesus himself even said that there are men, there are people who are going to do far greater things than what he can do. So it's his own words. It's in your own Bibles. It's in your own scriptures. I'm just repeating what your scriptures have said. So again, why would that be sacrilegious? But most people would think it's like, shit, you're comparing yourself to Jesus and all that. Well, Jesus gave us that gift of clarity and beauty and healing yourself, right? This is where you don't need this, and you can get rid of the screen sharing, buddy. Thanks. Thank you. This is where you don't need implants in your brain. I mean, those implants, right? CRISPR technologies are and so on are really, really fantastic. And I'm just giving you a future. Those are really, really fantastic for people who weren't awakened enough to, again, enhance their bodies versus destroy their bodies, through the foods and so on. This is where those technologies are fantastic for those people who, well, basically have deformed their bodies, and now they need implants and so on. But for the future, do we need to set the stage up for future people, future individuals to have heart issues or so on like that? Or can we tap into a higher consciousness where those medical issues that we have today, or those say lack patterns that we have today, or those abuse patterns that we have today, do we need to perpetuate that, or can we go, you know what, in this consciousness, I'm going to tap into a higher level consciousness where those things don't exist. So in the future generations, we don't have to have our kids, and if you've noticed, kids having arthritis at the tender age of, like, before they even turn double digits. What the fuck is that? That, again, that consciousness going further and further back, again, creating ourselves from yester decades, not advanced decades or advanced. So this is where we regain our ability, and that's what the Great Awakening is. You have a choice. This is where the Great Divide is. I did a talk on the Great Divide. This is where you have a Great Divide. Are you going to move on, or are you going to move back? And then again, this consciousness, by the way, it's a whole different reality. It will not support previous layers of consciousness, and that's why things have to perish. Because just think of all the shit that's happened in humanity. Okay, those things are still existing, and that's why you have access to it. By the way, that's why that shit that happened thousands of 10,000 years ago, they used to wear masks a couple hundred years ago, by the way, because of a disease. Not that far off, right? We haven't really learned anything. Those things get recycled because that consciousness is still available to you. It's not going to be available anymore. So you cannot go through there. Your politicians, by the way, if I was an alien, or maybe say another, the original angel, coming in physical form, this is what I would tell you. So let's take a deep breath in. And another breath in, just noticing your throat. This is where, again, if I was another consciousness, say the original angel, coming in human form, and speaking to you, what would that be like? I would say that, your species have done a fantastic job. It's done a fantastic job. You've started to realize, again, and I would give you great credit. You would start to, you've realized and you've experienced all the possible ways that things cannot work out for you, right? Which is, again, a great blessing for you. So the tragedies, the distortions, the abuse patterns, the political groups, for example, controlling you and disgracing you. rather than becoming real leaders for you. Again, all things that are wrong in this society. Again, we give you great credit to figure out all the possible ways that things can you can fuck up in this reality. So again, congratulations on that. Now it's time to leave all those things behind you, right? Because they didn't work. Look at your lives. Again, look at your religions. And it's not about religions. We talked about it earlier in this talk. It's not about your religion. Again, it's how you embrace your religion. Ask. Okay? Don't be blind followers. God did not give you. God did not tell you to be a blind follower. Give you an expansive ability to really enhance who you really are, your potential. Even if you don't believe in God, it doesn't matter, right? You were created by some highly intelligent, say, being or force or consciousness or whatever the hell you want to think of it that way. Don't worry about the labels I attach or that you attach to it. There is a consciousness that did create this immaculate being that call your human form that has, say, consciousness and thinking and reasoning faculties. That's an amazing possibility. Most of you, unfortunately, think that this is a burden for you. Your lives are burdens for you. In fact, it is a great, say, atmosphere or a great reality of being playful and really understanding the possibilities of what you as humans could be. But most of you suffer, unfortunately, because you hold on to the past. People ask God, or people go, well, why did God create suffering? Because suffering is a is a tool for you. Okay, it tells you you're going into the wrong direction. God didn't create it. God is here, for example. You're supposed to be going towards God, just like in that example. You're supposed to awaken again, no matter how you label God. Okay. And again, it's not defined in any scripture or any religious, say, frequency ideology that's here today. If it was any of those religious values and so on, again, I'm not knocking those religions, but you haven't moved on from your religion that was created thousands of years ago. Whether you're Muslim, Buddhist, uh, Catholic, or Christians, or the thousands of different, say, forms of Christianity that are out there, or spiritual movements, or your scientific communities, you have not moved away from thousands of years, or at least hundreds of years in the scientific community. In the scientific community, you are still running from equations and so on that was again created hundreds and hundreds of years ago, back in the 1800s, back in the 1700s. You're still operating from those equations in today's world. Does that make sense for you? Obviously, some of those great scientists are using that to, again, create stepping stones. But most of the science that are out there didn't evolve, just like your religions didn't evolve, just like your political systems didn't evolve, just like your healthcare didn't evolve. You, none of those things have evolved. Your leaders have, say, destroyed you. Your leaders are just mechanisms of control. You're basically in a free prison. You don't have bars around you, and that's how your leaders treat you. They treat you like they used to treat prisoners back in the 50s and 60s here in the U.S., where they would just uh, test uh, test chemicals on prisoners, right? Because they were worthless, so to speak, in their mind, right? And they would test. Hey, I wonder what this thing does, and you can look it up. It's your species history, not mine. By the way, you can look up at all the heinous things that governments used to do for the sake of saving future humans. So they would destroy them. Now you're just basically the earth has become a petri dish where they'll test different chemicals on you, right? Is that what you want? And it's not just the political readers, it's not their fault. It's just that you allow them to do what they do to you. And then you would cry out, you would demonstrate and so on like that. And then you would just shut up and take it. That this moment of time will, say, really help you awaken to either put in, okay, and awaken. Again, the meek shall inherit this world. Okay, you awaken to your best possible self by the way I explained here. Let's take a deep breath in. Okay. And then it's your choice. Again, you cannot go, no matter how religious you are, by the way, okay? Or no matter how intelligent you are, I'm going to fucking get away from this, and it's go, well, you go meet your maker, however you want to see that. And I've been on the other side a few times by now. I know how that other side works, okay? It's all you. How and it's all based on not how many people you helped, but how high did you awaken. That's all that counts there. How high did you awaken? Simple as that. By the way, if you awakened in this physical world on how high you awakened, you would help the masses more than anything that you did. As a note, you go, shit, I didn't awaken any. It's like, well, it's because of the religion. I practiced my religion as well as I could. It's like, well, I did the best I could and so on like that. Nobody fucking cares on the other side. It's just, it's not like there's judgment or anything. Just like you didn't traverse the trajectory, that path was open for you to learn and understand. Okay. Um, and you didn't. You thought you were going in the right direction and you weren't. Simple as that. It just gives you a basic thing. It's like you're pointing the map. It's like, fuck, I went the wrong direction. That's what the other side will show you. Okay. There's no excuse, by the way. There is no excuse. You're at the first principle level. There's no excuse. It's like, well, I followed this religion and the religion, the religion told me to do X, Y, and Z, and I did it. Well, you followed blindly. You didn't go into your master creator of who you are. You didn't do that. Nobody does that, right? You always follow Chat GPT and all that. Again, is creating more followers. It's a great tool, but are we going to use it for for the right purpose? Let's take a deep breath in. So, what are the consequences if you didn't? Again, you'll stay here. You'll stay at the lower levels of consciousness, and that would become hell for you. So, many people, for example, many people that die, like in today's world, many people that die, um, their consciousness, they're freaked out, especially of a certain religion, because they're born in sin, they live in sin, they're afraid that they're going to die in sin, so they don't cross over the way they need to. So you stay at that level of consciousness that you were when you were awakened. Okay, death is not, say, your ticket out. By the way, it basically tells you what level you go in the hereafter. Simple as that. So the key is that most people wait. It's like, well, when I die, or when I commit suicide, then I'm free. You're not. If you're at a level zero consciousness, when you die, or any way that it is, an accident, suicide, whatever it might be, you're at level zero consciousness. Simple as that, without a form. So your consciousness stays, right? Simple as that. Lower levels equals suffering. Absolutely. So again, you want to be awakened here, or know that you want to go into the right direction. So let's take a deep breath in, guys. Let's just take 1 minute here. This is the time where, again, not through demonstrations or anything like that, or civil unrest and so on, although I see that happening, and that's happening in Paris, that's happening in London, and so on like that. Again, but it's not unawakened individuals, and it'll probably happen here in the US as well, although they try to, dissuade you from it by not showing what's really happening in, the countries outside of here. Um, but anyway, it's a whole different subject on filtering out, right? That's a good way to control people rather than understanding what's out there. So you have Paris, London, and so on. A lot of demonstrators, right? They're dissatisfied with their government, their job, and so on like that, which is really fantastic. So you have unawakened people going, "Hey, you're to blame for my existence here." So if you're going to demonstrate in that sense, you're just recycling history. And then political leaders will go, okay, we'll give in and we'll give you whatever, better wages and so on like that. And then still, make that noose tighter on your neck for freedom. So future generations will suffer because both parties are unawakened and they're using tools to appease the other. But again, those are, again, you're appeasing the other, you're not awakening the other. Okay. So those demonstrators, again, they should probably do XI, become exponentially intelligent, and then maybe demonstrate and go, hey, you know what? We want leadership. That's not only good for us, but good for future societies as well. Okay. A lot like Russia filtering out the truth, the U.S. filters it out even more. You just think that you're more free here, uh, unfortunately, right? You think your ideas or concepts are free. You think your freedom is based on the movies that that you can watch here, compared to Russia and or those Middle Eastern countries, Islamic countries. You're not. All those again, movies and all that are propaganda for you to go, oh shit, that's life. That's the way life should be, and so on. And you go, well, wow, I want that life. So again, it's not your idea of life. So again, you think you're free. You have the possibilities. America was once a fantastic country, but again, it's just turned out to be like every other country here, and it's getting worse and worse. So they just some countries just go, hey, you're fucking gonna do this, and then some countries like sugarcoat it. Simple as that. Okay. All right. So let's take a deep breath in, guys. We'll take about 15 minutes. We'll scan individuals. By the way, as we come forth, into this new reality, we have a great opportunity to heal ourselves by awakening. Right? Again, by awakening is the key. That's how you heal yourself. That's how you become successful. That's how you can be that limitless self that you are. You can heal, again, very similar or in the same frequency or the same line as, say, a Jesus would, and so on like that. So you can heal yourself, by the way, right? Again, the key is you can heal yourself by awakening. And that's what I do for you. I don't claim to cure you. I don't claim to heal you in any way. I claim to awaken you. And as you awaken, well, what happens is that you cure yourself of the craziest diseases and so on. So for those individuals who are, say, healthcare workers, energy workers, psychologists, and so on like that, we've got this fantastic course. I know a lot of you have come out and wanted to, say, work on that healing mastery. Thanks, Erica. Yep, you guys are already know about it. Healing mastery. By the way, we just released it yesterday, and it got sold out for the top level. So we might do another. And I'm trying to get Fefe and my team to go. Okay, we'll do, because I wanted to small groups. A small group that got sold out within minutes. By the way, so we'll create, say, group two. It might take a little longer. It might be out there, but we'll create group two. But for those individuals, healing mastery, the high level, there's two levels of healing mastery, guys. The one-on-one, where I actually take personal time one-on-one with you, that 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 got sold out. Okay. The other one, healing mastery, which is for the masses, like group sessions and so on like that. We can have as many as we want there, because again, it's group sessions. By the way, the bigger the group, the more powerful that we can get. So there's a lot of benefit in that. But if you wanted one-on-one, that aspect is sold out. My team just put a link on there for you. Um, so, so again, it allows you to become. This isn't about changing your modality. This isn't about learning a new modality or anything like that. If you're an acupuncturist, if you're a surgeon, if you're a psychologist or anything or if you just want to be the best possible self and heal yourself, okay. Um, you can you can take that course and then it'll benefit you. So if you're an acupuncturist or a surgeon, you'll be a higher level surgeon, again, an awakened surgeon that can really help heal individuals, not just the physical body, but again, the spiritual or that limitless self or the timeless body. Right. So let's go into part two. Again, we took a little longer, but that's okay. It's Easter for you. Let's take a deep breath in, guys. Part two. Again, I'm not a, I'm not a healer. I don't claim to cure anybody. So if I do tell you that here, I'm not a medical doctor. I don't diagnose or heal. I can scan your frequency signature and tell you what I see. Please consult your doctors for professional advice. It has to be scanned today. Again, you're agreeing that we may use your session on any public media like the one you are at to inspire others. So remember, if you don't want to use your session, share your session, please do not ask to be scanned. Really simple. There's private sessions for that. And all contents are protected by copyright, so you may not use our content in any way, shape, or form without my written permission. All right, so let's go on here. Um, and again, this is what the possibilities of what we all have. Okay, I jumped into the future level of consciousness, what humans can be. Simple as that, and that's where I get my gifts and abilities. We're all open to this, and Healing Master will teach you how to access that. So, and I don't need to know your real name. I don't need to know anything because of your frequency signature. Again, Jesus worked with frequencies. Einstein worked with frequencies. The future is about frequencies, by the way. So, for example, Elon Noel, do I need to ask specifically for a scan? Sure, I can just scan you, by the way. So, and again, I don't need to know your real name, your picture, or anything like that because I can tap into the frequencies that are in your comments here. Kind of crazy, but it's amazing what can be, say, locked into frequencies. Let's take a deep breath in. And as I work on one individual, if you have somewhat similar frequencies, I'll be working on you as well if you'd like. Again, it's all up to you. So, Elaine, do I need to ask specifically for a scan? Again, not a doctor or anything like that, but it just seems like there could be some like heavy metals or something to that effect in the back portion of your brain, and this is where in your family your motor skills might like the way you walk or in your family there seems to be where people get tremors as they age, like their hands move like this or their head kind of shakes, they get those tremors and so on like that. I kind of see that in your family. I'm not saying you have it. Again, I'm not diagnosing you or anything like that, but your propensity to have that might be available since your parents and so on, or maybe your grandparents might have had that. So it's an opportunity for you to clean up. One of the best ways, again, eat proper foods, eat cleansing foods. There's a lot of um, you know, I would do a metal cleanse, or sometimes I see like people who use minerals a lot, take too many minerals. Your body doesn't know what to do with it. Again, minerals are just metals, so I would see that as well for you. So that's one of the biggest things for you, and I would take it serious and do a cleanse so you don't have to turn into say your parents where you would have motor skill issues and so on like that. On the other side, and I know you might not worry about that, but if you don't have your health, Elon, you don't have anything else. So you shouldn't worry about anything else for now. Again, just worry about your health, and as you awaken who you really are, you'll start to see all the other things. So the other layer basically in you is literally that you're always worried about the future. What am I going to do in the future? What am I going to and then what's most important to you you've left behind here. So again, that's why I suggest that you pay attention to your health, because if you don't have your health, your future is not going to be worth it. By the way, no matter what precious thing you have, Elon or Elaine, um, whoever you are, no matter what precious thing you have, you always put it aside for the next thing. And that's why you don't have anything, say, precious to hold on to, by the way, because you're always running into the future. Um, Stefan Specht. Hi, Mas, would you please scan my girlfriend? Sure. 1, 2, 3, 4. By the way, guys, if I scan you, can you please comment in on how accurate that was? Um, I know I'm accurate. I don't need confirmation, but it's good for you to understand. It's like, shit, how did you know that? Right? It gives you that solid confirmation. And then also for those non believers, and then also for the scientist type individuals, like, shit, well, how did he do that? Right? By the way, I don't have psychic abilities. Psychic abilities are very different. This one, hi Moss, would you please scan my girlfriends? Yeah, is this Stefan? So Stefan, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It seems like you've had five previous relationships or five impactful relationships, and now seems like what you're doing is like again from the work that you've done with XI, you've done a great job to awaken. So this current this girlfriend that you have, whether she's new, she kind of feels like very similar to other girlfriends that you've had in the past. So it could be one, it could be a learning experience for you to go, shit, you know what? The relationships that I've had, so where you are, again, it's not about your girlfriend, but where you are, okay, is that, oh, I remember this happening in my relationship, my past relationship. Okay. So it's showing up for you. So you would ask, it's like, okay, um, what is it in me? And this is really key, no matter what it is. In this case, it's your relationships, but what is it in me that's allowing this, my new girlfriend, right? Or my girlfriend, I don't know if she's new, she kind of seems, again, of the past, right? So, what is it in me that's allowing? So, again, it's not about your girlfriend, but what is it in me that's allowing, say, my girlfriend to treat me the way, or my spouse or my partner, whatever, my relationship with God, whatever it might be. Okay. Again, it's all you. Okay? Take control of your life. Don't take blame, but take control. What is it in me that's allowing this relationship to turn out the way it is? Okay. And if there's something specific, it's like, oh, why did she treat me like that? Again, it's not about, don't get mad at the person. It's like, what is it in me that's allowing that person to treat me that way? Right? And if you don't like it, again, ask yourself, what is it in me? And so you're at the level, Stefan, is that where you can say re rewrite your relationship descriptions, and this is where you can find, say, that true love. Okay, this girlfriend could be that true love. So you just take it day by day. It's best for the both of you. um, no matter how old your relationship is, if you take it day by day, that relationship will always stay fresh because you'll always be want to be your best possible self, right? So that's where you are. So it's a great opportunity for her. Can she change, transform? Yes, she's very, say, adaptable or very pliable to be, not to adapt to what your needs are as a person, because that gets boring as well. And that's why, you know, fake girlfriends or AI girlfriends or, whatever, robots and so on, they never allow you to grow because it's like, oh, she's just perfect for me. But, you're perfect in 2023, but in 2024, you're not going to be that perfect. That makes sense because you've grown. And then that, unfortunately, that, say, robot girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever partner that you'll have, maybe in the future, because, that's what people are going towards. It's like they're going to treat you like your old self. It's like, fuck, and then you get pissed off at the AI, at the robot. So I don't know why that comes out, but it's all about you. So so it's a great opportunity. She is willing to adapt, not to, again, please you, but to be a more expansive sense of self. As she becomes that, by the way, a higher sense of self, you have an opportunity to become a higher sense of that person. Okay. So, and that's how you perpetuate. How's my mental process, Moss? It actually seems like you've gotten control of it, from what I'm seeing. So in the past few weeks, Pamela, it seems like you, again, from the work that you've done with XI, the work that you've done with XI, really fantastic. It's gotten you to the point where you're taking back, or you're taking hold, or you're taking control of your mental processes. You always would say, try to be you would try to be a pleaser back in the past. The good thing is that it takes me a little bit kind of researching your past, Pamela, but you were a pleaser type. and then you would please somebody, and then you'd go, well, what the fuck, I pleased this person, I gave them all I had, and then now they've distorted me, and I'm like, again, unstable, right? And then you get mentally unstable. By the way, mental health month is coming in May. We're going to be doing a lot for mental health coming up, so that's out there as well for you. So for you, Pamela, now you're starting to see. So for you, where you are is like you stepped away, and this is where things might get confusing, or you might be more unstable than ever. But at a very deep level, at an internal level, from what I'm seeing, you're solid and stable, and you're seeing all those things that distorted you. But again, the key is notice that separation of where you are and who you are. So and the way you do that is like, notice how you can describe, say, that dis, destabilized, say, person that you were in the past. Basically, you stepped away from that. So again, you're separating yourself. You're separating your identity. So again, push that even farther, and then you'll become more and more solid. So environmentally, things might be destabilized for you, but again, look inwards, and you'll know that there's a sense of stability, because you can specifically describe what you're going through. So congratulations on that. So this is where you, Pamela, because I can't choose for you, this is where you go, shit, you know what, that's that thing that I used to do for people. And again, it's not their fault. It's just the way you handle people, right? So it's like, I don't need to do that anymore. So this is where you take back control of yourself. So it's a nice place to be. The key is take back control of yourself. This is Lisa Hartman, a scan for my spiritual journey. But Lisa, it seems like you're disgusted with a lot of things. You're disgusted with a lot of people around you. You're probably not liking or hating people. And you go, well, shit, that's not very spiritual. So there's a lot of spiritual beliefs that are pushing against you that you had in the past, like loving people, and so on like that. Again, that those kind of things don't work for you. So, and this is creating, say, putting you in a hard place. It's like, shit, you know what? Religion and spirituality tell me to love people. But what most people do is like they sacrifice themselves and help people. Uh, and again, there's nothing wrong with helping people, but if you're sacrificing yourself to help people, you're destroying not only that relationship, but you're not helping that individual, and you're destroying consciousness, or our ability as a humans to go above consciousness into another sense of self. By the way, so seems like, Pamela, that was correct for you. Yeah. So that other person, again, the key is that you're pushing against that, those religious beliefs and so on, and coming into a pure form of what, say, spirituality or enlightenment is about. So congratulations. The reason why you would hate people is because you would always sacrifice yourself to, again, help or please other people, and then you'd back away. So now you're hating people, not because you hate people. It's just because you have to create, say, some kind of force. Hate, anger, and so on, used properly, will separate you from your old identity. So it's not about hating that person. It's about hating the pattern that you were running to help that person. So just be mindful. Okay. So again, it's not about hating people. It's about hating how you used to lose yourself for people, for that spiritual journey or religious journey. Okay? Once you come into yourself, by the way, and again, back to Jesus, Jesus never destroyed himself or sacrificed himself for people. He'd be too brilliant for that, way too brilliant. So he would literally awaken, and that's how he would help. So you're coming into that format as well. You awaken, and then you help others. See. True. Lisa Hartman. True. Yeah, there you go. Nice job. Let's see. T, how about hating other people's patterns? Again, sure, you can hate other people's patterns, but what is it in you that that you hate in them? It's probably in you as well. Okay, because once you start to remove all those patterns, hating other people's patterns, prejudice patterns, and so on like that. Again, the only reason you're prejudiced, the only reason you would hate other people's patterns and so on like that, because there's probably a single grain. Even if there's a single grain in you, it limits you from your more expansive or limitless self. Right. So again, when you're hating other people's patterns, it's probably more to do with you, right? It's like, what is it in me that allows me to hate that other people's patterns? Because you see it so distinctly. So try it that way, and then you'll see that you might not hate. It's like you might not, like that person's patterns or anything like that, but you're not going to extend energy or expend energy hating somebody or hating their patterns, by the way, because you don't need to. You go, oh, that pattern, not for me. And you walk away. Again, you don't have to have anger or anything like that in between because, again, there was something in you that kind of got you into that entanglement, right? And again, this is where hatred disappears. This is where prejudice disappears. I hate, whatever, orange colored people, you know. It's like, well, what is it in you that makes you so insecure that you have to say push away from orange colored people, right? So, one last. Hamas, what's preventing me from a romantic relationship? Um, okay, this is what is it? Bay Bayou physical. Bayou physical. So again, the last scan, guys. So for you, and again, watch your patterns. You need to move away. It seems like there's some kind of physical abuse with you. So the more you fall in love or the more you get entangled, the more successful that you get, the more awakened you get, the more spiritual you get, however it is, the more you get, again, the success in any love, relationships, wealth, and all that. That all that those are all magnifiers. So for you, the more you get into a higher level relationship, the more you would feel destroyed. And it's not your life. It's not your pattern, by the way. It seems like a previous lifetime or genetic pattern. Like seems like you look like your great grandmother or great great grandmother. Okay. By the way, your facial features, especially around your eyes and so on, you might have the same eyes as your great or great great grandmother. So whatever patterns, relationship patterns that she had or he had, it's a feminine frequency. It could be man or woman. Basically, you have, and that's why if you're running somebody else's pattern in relationships, for example, even if it's a great relationship, since it's not your pattern, it's not your definition of relationship patterns, even if it's good patterns, that relationship will not say survive or it would not be fantastic for you. So that's why. Okay. So in this case, the prevention for you is that, hey, you know what? Especially if you've done XI, from what I'm seeing you or have done, exponential intelligence. What basically it's like a stopper or a safety valve for you because you haven't quite mastered yourself yet. So you have to master yourself a little bit more, and then you can get into relationships that are like heartwarming and so on like that. Okay. So the key for you, again, don't think of it as something preventing you. And again, you can ask yourself, and this is what I was helping you, by the way. So it becomes more clear for you. You can ask yourself, well, what is it that's preventing me? So, and I told you, so look inside, ask yourself, is like, wow, does that resonate with me? And then when you do that, you move away the pattern of basically losing yourself for somebody else. Okay. So your great grandma or grandma had the concept of, again, something happened to her spouse, from what I'm seeing, and then her life basically got put on hold, and then she had to basically sacrifice, right, to take care of this person, or they might have died, or they might have had a disease, whatever it is. Her life got put on hold back when she was younger. And then she aged, and then it's like, shit, I lost my life. So basically, if you got into a relationship, your relationship would mimic that pattern. Again, even if it was fantastic, there's a pattern of sacrifice where, again, perfect relationship, which is even more heartfelt, right? It's like, oh, we had a great relationship until he had a stroke, and then everything went to hell. That kind of deal. Again, you don't want to run that pattern, right? So that's what's stopping you. So once you disconnect from that pattern, and again, I helped you with it. The 18 days coming up in May is really fantastic for you all, by the way. So take a look at that. That'll help you accelerate. This session will help you release that as well. Okay. All right. So guys, again, we went a little bit overboard. That's okay. Um, was that okay, guys, or was it too long? But thanks for being here, guys. Notice what you notice. Happy Easter. Hopefully that gives you a better, brighter light on what Jesus was about, rather than the distortions of your religion. By the way, no matter what religion you are, ask if it's the best, say, avenue, because what a Buddha, Muhammad, Jesus, Abraham, or whatever, whoever that you believe in, again, those great individuals, if you're not getting the same results as they are, you're probably practicing your religion wrong, or you're learning from the wrong source, right? Go inwards, just like those great individuals did to bring out those religions. Go inwards. That's what they did, not outwards to find who you are. And then you'll be blessed with all the blessings that are literally right in front of you that you can't even see because they live in another consciousness. Right. So, with that in mind, guys, notice what you notice, and then notice the details of what you're noticing. Right. Peace.